All right, we are tracking a line of thunderstorms that's going to move into the Ozarks. That's going to kick off a pattern where we have pretty much daily chances of rain and thunderstorms after that. It's been quiet in Springfield so far. I know some places further off into the east saw a little bit of activity. Jamie, wanted to kind of show you some of this footage of what was happening over in Wichita, because this was, what that thunderstorm, what we're eventually going to be getting tonight, produced over on just the other side of the state with a whole lot of rain and flooding. And we're under the gun of several inches this week.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at radar right there out of the Wichita area, rainfall estimates, and I think that's probably video, and I'm not sure, but I think that's video probably east of Wichita, maybe east or northeast of Wichita. That's where the heaviest rain occurred. Radar estimating maybe in excess of 6 inches, possibly as much as 8 inches of rainfall.
Yeah, I mean, this is our in-house model, and the scale goes to 6 inches, and then after you get to 6 inches, it just gives you this pink blob. And yeah, this area really northeast of Wichita is where they picked up that heavier band, and that was one video we showed flooding in the streets. I think this video is even more impressive, or kind of shocking of what was happening, where there was a water rescue going on. I believe the individual trapped in their car was 80 years old. They were able to get her out safely, but there's just a whole lot of rain. I don't think we get.
I mean, Matt, you can see right there in that video. I mean, we talk about 1 to 2 feet of water that can sweep your vehicle off the road. Yeah, you factor in it's not just 1 to 2 feet of water; it's 1 to 2 feet of rapidly moving water, and it looks like that vehicle has, indeed, it looks like maybe been swept off the roadway. And of course, water's coming up over the hood, and that's helping to drive it down even further. So, very dramatic, dangerous scene right there out of the Wichita area.
I don't think we get that much rain. That's not the point of why we're showing kind of that footage to be like, hey, this is what's going to be happening tonight. I don't think we get that much, but we have had problems with flooding, and it's that same system that was in Wichita that's going to be pushing our way. It's kind of dying. It's not going to be fully dead once it gets into our area, just not as strong as what it was the other side of the state.
Yeah, so the more intense thunderstorm activity that we have with the line, it will gradually, I think, weaken as it pushes into southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas as we work through this evening. But again, part of the reason why we had the flooding over in Wichita is because the atmosphere is primed to produce heavy rainfall. I mean, it is loaded down with moisture. And these storms, while they may move off to the northeast at a decent clip, 30 to 35 miles per hour, the line itself isn't moving very quickly. It's only slowly shifting from eastern Kansas and Oklahoma into western Missouri and northwest Arkansas as we work through this evening. So there are going to be areas, especially near and north of I-44, where some of the stronger thunderstorm activity is going to be training over the same locations, squeezing out this atmospheric moisture and generating inches of rainfall.
Let's go by the hour by hour. We also are watching flooding. I think is the main concern that we have. There's a low tornado risk that we also have to keep an eye out for. Hour by hour forecast really starts to move into the Springfield area. This model is picking up around 10 o'clock, and then slowly progresses further off into the east.
How the line is weakening. Notice how you have that thin green line out ahead of most of the rain and thunder. That's what the model is saying right there is that the outflow
compare that to where it was
is going to be outpacing the band of rain and thunder, which is good news because what that does is that cuts off the updrafts and it reduces the severe weather threat. But it's a process. We're transitioning from a severe weather risk now to a mode where severe weather isn't expected late this evening or into the morning hours on Wednesday. But as that line is pushing into western Missouri and northwest Arkansas, there is going to be at least a low risk of severe weather. It looks like that risk is going to be primarily for either damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour or potentially what we call QLCS tornadoes or mesovores.
Yep, those brief spin-ups.
We saw some of that in the Kansas City area earlier this afternoon with a confirmed tornado.
I don't have the video of that, but there was a video of porta potties knocked down, of trees knocked down, power lines knocked down over in Arrowhead. Wasn't extreme damages, it's mostly minor. You could tell stuff was getting pushed by the winds.
And Matt, if you can go to radar right now to show current radar, we can talk about the risk areas within the line that we're going to focus our attention on. So go ahead and stop that and kind of broaden it out a little bit. What we're looking at, you've got this band of rain and thunder, but within that band you have these line segments, and it's going to be those line segments that become more oriented northwest to southeast. Those line segments, and you can see Matt's kind of focused in on a portion of this line that is oriented that way, and it just got severe warned because it's going to be those parts of the line that will have the best chance at interacting with atmospheric winds. Those atmospheric winds will, when you have these line segments oriented that way, will tend to want to drive that part of the line faster downstream. You get stronger winds usually in that scenario, in that part of the line, and that's also where we would be looking most closely for maybe a brief tornado to try to spin up.
This is 60 mile per hour winds. That's what the National Weather Service is trying to warn people for. That makes sense where kind of what we're seeing on radar, they are kind of agreeing with us as well. This is really the first kind of severe thunderstorm warning that we've had with this next portion of the line. I know earlier we had kind of some discrete cells that were moving across, and some of those were severe warned.
Those had a hail threat.
Yes.
I don't expect hail with this line of severe storms coming in from the west. I don't think that's realistically what we're going to have to deal with. It's going to be for wind and maybe a brief tornado. And again, it's those line segments that get oriented favorably. In this evening's case, the line segments that are oriented northwest to southeast, like the portion that's warned right now. The shear in the atmosphere can interact with those line segments in a way that can generate an enhanced risk of damaging wind and maybe even a mesovort or a brief spin-up tornado.
Real quickly, I do want to kind of end this by talking about this is just wave one. We're expecting more rain that could follow up. In total, this is kind of our forecast. We think about 2 to 4 inches for most people, and there's going to be some pockets where people pick up more than that, especially in isolated areas. You factor in we got 13 inches of rain for April. We got 7.5 inches of rain in May. If people pick up about 2 to 4 inches in this short amount of time, that will create more problems with flooding that we have to get through. A peek of the 7-day forecast, it's just daily chances of rain. I really want to stress that. Not going to be downpours the whole time. It's going to be more waves of activity, but we have chances to get these waves for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday. Then we really start to wrap up after that.
And hitting on this stormy pattern, Wednesday and Thursday, the activity is going to tend to be scattered. I think the severe weather risk is going to be limited. It's not zero, but it's limited. I think it's going to be pulsy type thunderstorms that may try to pulse up in intensity in the afternoon or early evening that we might see an isolated severe storm from. Friday morning, the setup looks to favor a more widespread round of rain and thunderstorm activity, what we call a mesoscale convective system, an MCS. And it looks like that's going to sweep from west to east through the area, mainly during the morning and then exiting in the afternoon. And Storm Prediction Center already has kind of a corridor outlined for severe weather risk, and that may be a bit broader, maybe to the north or to the south, just depending on how things set up. But that possibility of severe weather looks more enhanced on Friday morning especially.
A lot of rain that we have to get through, tracking the tornado threat for tonight, and then more opportunities of thunderstorms that's going to be coming in afterwards. That's a quick update for you guys. We're going to keep these updates rolling throughout the week as it is going to be an active one. Stay tuned, ozarksfirst.com.